Hello everyone, and welcome back to Full-Grown Gaming's Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now this is going to be one of the more awkward episodes because Joe is actually in the room with me, but I have decided to finish this Let's Play out, you know, a solo commentary. And the funny thing is when I just stopped right there with a little pause, I expected Joe to fill in, but he's not actually going to be on this episode. Anyway, the last episode ended with me as an adult. And I just decided to transform, you know, off camera and all that. And we actually have to come back to the windmill. I bet you guys never thought that this would actually be important. But when we were an adult, we talked to this guy, and he taught us the Song of Storms, so let's go ahead and play that for him right now. As you can see, the windmill is now absolutely ridiculously fast. I don't know how in the world playing the Song of Storms makes this happen. And another thing I don't get is how playing the Song of Storms drains the well. That makes absolutely no sense. But apparently there's another sort of a glitch you can do, where I think, if you guys don't know, if you attack a cuckoo too much, it will basically call its friends and they'll all attack you. If you do that, and you drop down in the well in the water at the same time or something like that, you can drop down to the bottom of the well without actually having to drain it. Which means you can get the Lens of Truth before you ever become an adult in the first place, and not really have to even learn the Song of Storms, I don't believe. You can do this dungeon, actually, now that I think about it, without even getting the Lens of Truth. And I believe you can do the Shadow Temple without getting the Lens of Truth, which would be, you know, a pretty good feat, considering there's so many invisible platforms in that area, but I'm going to go ahead and not be a hero and get, you know, the Lens of Truth. Let's go ahead and investigate these skeletons. I can hear the spirits whispering in this room. Look for the Eye of Truth. Apparently this is what they're saying. Well, that's exactly what Navi ended up saying, so funnily enough, I think these things are supposed to look at whatever, like if there's a hidden entrance or something like that, and you can kind of see that there's a crease around this area right here. It's kind of cheap, but you can actually walk through the wall. And there's a bunch of areas in this place. This is actually the Kakariko Well, which is almost kind of like the ice cavern as far as being a mini dungeon. But this one actually has keys. I didn't mean to go through that wall. Pay no attention to the room behind the wall there. Anyway, there are also some other things that you can blow up, like rubble, I guess. I think this is probably going to be bomb shoes here. Yep, bomb shoes. So I'm not sure if I don't think bomb shoes are actually necessary to complete the game. There might be like one or two places it would be helpful to use them, but I'm not sure if there are any that are actually used or required. Before I go anywhere, I'm going to go straight back. Wow, he just pushed me right into a wall here. I think this is going to be the compass. Yep, here it is. Right there, there is a huge hole right there, and the only way to get the compass is to actually come in from the side right there. So you have to be careful. They tempt you with the compass, and then they put a hole in front of the thing. And there we go. So the first time I think I've ever gotten the compass before the map, and they put all the icons on the map, like, without... That's kind of weird, really, how they put the... I never thought the map, or the compass, was what actually gave you the ability to see the treasure chests that were on the map, but whatever. Now back here, what do we do whenever we see a Triforce on the floor? That's right, we play Zelda's Lullaby. And the reason we need to do that is obviously so that water drain like that. And you have to be careful walking in anywhere really in this dungeon, because there are a lot of hidden kind of trap doors almost. Except it's not really a trap door, it's just a hole, and then there's like a fake floor on it. Now before, I think this is bombs, if my memory serves correctly. Awesome, I can't believe I remembered that. And I'm not sure exactly, maybe they put the bombs there so that you would have bombs to blow up the rubble piles with. But as far as I remember, there's nothing that you actually have to have bombs for here. Except, nope, actually, I was going to say there's something in the basement that you might need it for, but I don't think there is. I can't believe that they keep putting regular Skulltulas as enemies this late in the game. Luckily, they did decide to spice it up a little bit with one of my most hated bosses in the entire game. The Dead Hand, and if he would stop holding on to me, I would show you his investigation. Dead Hand, watch out for its infinite hands and aim for its head. Now let's go ahead and invest or equip some Deku sticks. You can actually destroy his hands, but as Navi says, his hands are infinite. So what I like to do is just use the classic, you know, Deku stick, jump slash, and then follow up with a couple of power stabs, because as we all know, that power stab will actually have the power of a Deku stick jump slash. That was a really hard, like, riddle, right? Or not riddle, but tongue twister. Let's go ahead and do it again. I think usually three little rounds of this will take care of them. Or 4, I think it's 6 hits with this jump power stab will take care of them. And there we go, the dead hand is finally done for. Look at his jaw. Whenever he dies, his jaw is just slack like that. I always thought that was scary, and the fact that there are infinite white hands that come out of the ground that just grab onto you or whatever. Luckily, for defeating him, we get the mask, or not the Mask of Truth, the Lens of Truth, which is an item that can actually kind of show these hidden things that are in this dungeon. And not only this dungeon, but also, like, you know, the Shadow Temple, which is really why we needed to come in here in the first place, to get the Lens of Truth, because it would be very hard, and I'm not sure if it's even possible to defeat the Shadow Temple without the Lens of Truth. But there's kind of another cool trick that you can do with the Lens of Truth. Let me go ahead and defeat this thing, and then I'll show you. Alright, so let me go ahead and equip it. If you use the Lens of Truth, it wastes your magic power. But I have read that if you... Let me go ahead and show you that. If you just stand here, it drains your magic power. I've read that if you actually use the Song of Storms before you use the Lens of Truth, for some reason your magic power doesn't drain. So before the end of this episode, I definitely want to show you guys that. But now, I believe there are 3 keys in this dungeon that we need to get. 2 of them are behind doors, or not doors, but 2 of them are behind hidden, like, pieces of wall. I believe there's one over here. Yep, there he is. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this. Alright, that's the first key. Now, I think there was something over here. I'm not sure what this is right here. I think if you fall down, there are holes in the floor, like I said. I think if you fall down, that is where you come up out of, like, the basement area from. And I'm also not sure what that was. Oh, apparently that was the place I went to get the compass. I never really worried about getting the compass or the map in this area, just because it is kind of short. I guess, now that I think about it, upon further review, it would be a good idea to get the map and the compass, just because, you know, there are so many different ways you can go, there's so many different offshoots that you can see with the Mask of Truth and stuff like that. It would probably be a good idea to, you know, get the map and compass just so you can cover all those. Now, I need to go ahead and equip the Deku sticks again. I probably should have left those equipped. I don't need... Let's see, I'm really low on fairy slingshot ammo, so let me go ahead and equip the boomerang, and I need the Deku sticks, like I said. There's a pretty cool key here that we can get, and I'm not sure if these Gibdos, which they're called, I'm not sure if we've seen them yet in the Let's Play. And I really remember the Gibdos more from Majora's Mask than Ocarina of Time, because there's a really big kind of sub-quest you can do with them in Majora's Mask. But if you go ahead and light this torch right here, the coffin will slide open. This really reminds me of, there was the Mario level where you can open the coffins or whatever. Actually, you can't really open the coffins, but they open by themselves. Here, there's a key just laying in the coffin. I'm not sure if there are any more keys in the game that can be found like that, where they just are in something or on the ground or whatever. I can't think of any, but if there are, if anybody knows, I'd be interested in hearing that. But as far as I know, that is the only one. Now, we have 2 keys, and there is one more that I always forget where it is. So let me go ahead and find it real quick. Alright guys, I found it. I knew it was in another one of these little alcove things, but I couldn't quite remember where it was. Now, I think I've gotten the Mask of Truth, or the Lens of Truth. If I come through here, I think there's a Gold Skulltula. Oh, I was gonna say, maybe I don't even need all 3, but I need all 3 because there is another Gold Skulltula, but not behind something that requires the Mask of Truth to get through, and another key, so I wish I had more fairy slingshot ammo so I could take out the keys here. Let me go ahead and just cut this out, because this is going to take forever. And just like that, as soon as I say I'm going to cut something out, it does not take any time whatsoever. And I always thought this room was kind of cool, because you can see, like, the edge of the Lens of Truth is where the, you know, that little floor comes in. So the Lens of Truth effect in this game is actually really cool. And there's also some sort of weird thing that has something to do with the Lens of Truth game information that shows that the Spirit Temple is supposed to be done before the Shadow Temple. I think I read that in the wiki. I'll look it up and maybe put a link to it in the description or something. But it is kind of cool. Now, I believe there's a hole in the middle right there. And indeed there is. So I'm not even going to mess with that. I think there was another key that I should have gotten over here. Or not key, but gold skulltula. All the way on the other side of the room, yeah. So I'm really going to try not to fall down in those holes like that. Okay, that thing almost got me. But if you go down to the basement, there's like a little puzzle that you have to do down there, and I'm not really in the mood for that particular puzzle, because if you can avoid it, why not? I think it would have been kind of cool if maybe they put something down there that you actually had to go down there for, instead of it just being like a punishment for falling down in the holes or whatever. In my opinion, it would have been, like I said, better if there was a reward for going down there, and not really, like I said, it being a punishment. So I'm not sure. I need to go somewhere. Oh, I know where I need to go. Before I do that, though, there's a hole. Whoops, I didn't even know you could throw the boomerang when you had the Lens of Truth out. But there's a hole right there that leads down to the basement or whatever. And there's another treasure chest under this thing right here. Hardly any of these treasure chests really have anything worthwhile in them, which is also kind of sad, because I think if you went through and found all these seekers and stuff like that, they should have been more rewarding of the fact that you did that. As it stands, it's like 10 bombs. Some Deku nuts, a bomb chew, like it's just not worth it. Now, what I needed that extra key for was to come in here, and this isn't really that necessary either, but if you want to get all the gold skulltulas, you definitely need to come in here. That treasure chest is a waste of time. It has a blue rupee in it. I hope that fire keys doesn't get me. I'm going to change swords in a second, or shields. There we go, I can't believe I got that in time. That thing only has 5 rupees in it, and that is a really big ripoff, so I think that there is some item that I have that would be in there if I didn't have it. Like that thing in the Dodongo's Cavern, there's actually a Deku shield spawn in there if you don't have a Deku shield. If you do, it gives you a blue rupee. Now that box right there, I know for a fact, actually has a Hylian shield in it if you don't have a Hylian shield. So, like I said, I think that one over there probably has something to do with, you know, a shield or something that we already have. So, likes actually go down in one jump slash of a Deku stick, so if you want an easy way to take them out, that's how you would do that. And I think, actually, bombs take them out quicker than that trick, even. And I think if you kill one with a bomb, it actually gives you a red rupee, which is worth 50, I believe. Now, I think that is all the gold skulltulas. Let's go ahead and check. Yes, it is. Bottom of the well, it had a gold skulltula next to the title there. I do like the fact that in this game they actually show you. I knew that was going to happen. I remember too late that if you go down there, that's going to happen. Now, the funny thing is, I forgot where the map even is in this dungeon or whatever, but when I did that, when I jumped, I was in practice or whatever, that's all going to blow up, isn't it? Yep, let's just run, I don't even care. But in practice, there was a map there, and that map looks like somebody falling. And the reason that's funny is because we fell to get down there, and so Joe wanted to acknowledge, or wanted me to acknowledge the fact that he actually saw that similarity, but unfortunately we don't have the map, so I can't really show you. Now, oh, I know where the map is actually. If you look in the bottom right on the map, or the compass area, that little treasure chest was actually the map. So to get the map, I guess you do have to fall down here, and when I said it wasn't important to come down here, I was kind of wrong, but is the map really something that you really want to come down here and get? I don't think so. Hopefully this is the last one. Good, it is. The HD PVR just failed. Hopefully I can edit that right. Yeah, this is that room that I was in, so that's like pretty much what you want to do there. So I think that's actually all there is in the well. Let me go ahead and check. I got the Lens of Truth, I got all the gold skulltulas, and that is really all there is to this dungeon. That's a pretty fast dungeon. The only other thing that I really have planned for this episode is there is a mini game that we can kind of cheat at. Man, I wish you could just get by this thing without having to worry about that. Let's just take them out. But there's a mini game that you can sort of cheat at if you have the Lens of Truth. And I just realized that you can't stop the Lens of Truth from draining if you're going up a ladder. So I'm not sure if going up a ladder and using the Lens of Truth actually drains your magic power or not. That would be kind of cheap if it did, because it doesn't let you stop. When we get up there, I want to show you guys that playing the Song of Storms does not drain your, Lens of Truth power. I think I might have done it wrong, guys, because I played the Song of Storms and it was still draining, but I've read that if you play the Song of Storms and then use the Lens of Truth, it doesn't drain. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Maybe for the version on the Virtual Console, it doesn't work like that, but I don't think that's the case either. But I'm going to meet you guys back in the Hylian Market. Alright guys, here we are in the market. I believe this place over here is the... Apparently it's only open at night, so I guess I'll meet you guys back here at nighttime. And here it is nighttime. Now, if we come over here, there's a mini game that we can play. I thought the thing was it can only be played at daytime, not nighttime. This guy, look at this guy. That guy is ridiculous. He reminds me of one of the friends I used to know in high school. But anyway, we get one key. And we get to, we pay for the key, which opens this door right here. When we go in a room, we actually can use the Lens of Truth to open, but if you didn't have the Lens of Truth, I'm not sure if this minigame would be possible or not. It would be very unlikely for you to finish it. But you get one option for the key, or to open one chest. Obviously, you want to open the one with the key so you can keep on going. I'm not sure what happens, like I said, guys, if you go ahead and try it without the Lens of Truth. I don't know if it's possible. And I'm also not sure if the keys are random as far as if you went and tried to do the minigame and followed my exact steps or whatever, like opening the same exact chests. I'm not sure if that's how it works either. And they put way too many of these chests, I think. And we have finally made it down to the last treasure chest. And we can look through it. I was going to say, I wonder if we can look through it. We already know what's going to be in here. This is actually going to be a piece of heart. In the next episode, actually, you know what, I'll just go ahead and do that now. I'm going to transform into an adult real quick. And by the way, I believe there are only 3 more pieces of heart in the entire game, because if we complete that, that'll give us 1 more heart container, and then we get 1 for beating the last 2 temple bosses. So we're almost done, guys. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and transform into an adult, and then I'm going to go ahead and end the episode at the Shadow Temple. Alright guys, we have become an adult, and I'm going to show you something that I think is kind of weird. Obviously, we played the dungeons in this order. We went Forest Temple, Fire Temple, Water Temple. Apparently, the Shadow Temple is the one right before, you know, what they thought you were going to do last. Because this right here teleports you to the Spirit Temple. Which lends more credence to the assumption that you were actually supposed to go to the Shadow Temple last and not the Spirit Temple. When I got to this point at the beginning, or when I was a kid when I got to this point, I thought it was kind of cool how they put the Shadow Temple up here on the graveyard, you know, like up here. You could have been here, you could see this point when you were a kid, but you could never get up here until you were an adult. So I think that's kind of cool. Now, obviously there are a lot of, you know, torches here. So we're going to go ahead and use Din's Fire, because like I said, don't know if there's any other way you can do this. It might be possible with fire arrows, but I'm really doubting that, because you would have to really be quick with it. And they couldn't have expected you to do it with fire arrows, because as I've learned, those are actually optional. But I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and in the next episode, we're going to be taking on the Shadow Temple.